Hello and welcome. I thought I would do sort of like a cook along class slash live podcast recording. So hopefully my audio is lovely and clear because I am going to start cooking while I get my apron on for all those that are watching. So the other week I recipe developed lemon caper chicken, and of course my neighbor now has decided to redo their whole roof like while I want a podcast record. But anyway, the joys, right? The minute that you actually want to do something, shit hits the fan. So I have here, for anyone that's watching, will see leftover takeaway container, and it has some leftover lemon caper chicken. Now there's only a handful of the chicken, shredded chicken in there, and I use Maryland chicken. And just a bunch of the sauce. So it's not a leftover meal that you can just eat. I mean, unless you just want to eat a bowl of sauce, knock your socks off. But it's something that I can repurpose into another meal. But I also want to keep it easy and I want to reduce waste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to saute a little bit of butter and olive oil. You can leave the butter out, honestly, in a pot, which I've got here. And I've soaked and rinsed a cup of rice. However, you can definitely use risotto. You could use orzo. You could use whatever like you like. You could even put it into another pasta dish, to be quite honest, and make it into another meal. So I'm sort of here to give you a little friendly suggestion. And come to think of it, I wish I used orzo. I actually have a packet of risotto, and now I'm contemplating whether I should do risotto with it, but I've already soaked and rinsed the rice. So we're just going to roll with the rice and make it into like an Italian sort of fried rice, but I'm not going to label it that. So in a pan, or in a pot, I've just got like, I think maybe it's a 5 cup pot. I have a bit of olive oil and butter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply pour in this sauce with the chicken into the pot, or a saute pan, followed by the rice, coat the rice, and then add 2 cups of, I could put 1.5. I'll gauge the amount of liquid, but probably 2 cups of just water. I might add in a bay leaf and a bit of chicken stock powder. And that is it. Serve it with just a really simple salad next to it, and you've got another dish. Or you could have lunch for the week, or you could make it a side dish to go with some grilled chicken or some steak. So I really think the aim of the game in all these kind of meals, and I'm doing this, I'm on the quest of sort of writing a new recipe book. Well, not sort of, I am. But I want the recipe book to be actually useful. Not saying the recipe books aren't useful, but a lot of the time we buy a recipe book and we only cook, if we're lucky, 1 or 2 meals out of it, because a lot of the recipes might be things that the kids don't eat, or we don't eat, or too many steps, or too many ingredients, or too many processes. And I really want to create something that you guys will actually cook and eat and like. And then if you create a base, whether it's a paste or a sauce or a dish like this, like I really want to put in my preserved lemon recipe in this, because a jar of preserved lemon in the pantry, which you could keep up for ages. I've had mine in there for like, honestly, a year. I've kept it in the fridge now. And every now and then when I'm cooking up a recipe, I will take a couple of lemons out of them, either blitz it into a paste or chop it up finely, add it into, morning recipes like breakfast pans. I put it into this lemon caper chicken recipe, or a tagine, or a pasta. The flavor that preserved lemons gives is totally different. Of course, if you do not have them, you could definitely just use lemon zest, but the intensity and the zestiness of preserved lemons is sensational, and it definitely shines in recipes like this. I've already got bay leaf in there, so easy. So a bit of chicken. I'm just going to flip the camera around so if anyone's watching. So there you go. You can see a bit of chicken, obviously a bunch of capers, roast capsicum, fresh herbs, garlic. Like, it's seasoned, it's flavoursome. There's flavour, a bit of the charring that when I browned off the chicken initially is giving. So I'm just going to pop in the rinsed rice. I've just got a cup of rice, to be honest. That's plenty. You could definitely add more if you please. This is enough for us because the kids ain't gonna eat this. Shock horror. So I'm just gonna coat the rice and make sure that it's, you know, got all that flavor on it. Then I'm gonna add in, you know what? I'm gonna add in a cup and a half of liquid, and I'm gonna see how that looks. It's just one of those things, right? You just gotta kind of visualize. And that is it, guys. Really easy, delicious. Oh, and we're dropping everything, of course, while I'm recording. Really easy. Turn the heat down to low. And I just urge, like, you know, if you guys are on really feeling really frustrated with getting dinner on the table because you're time poor, I really think just keep things simple. Double or triple batch. I just added in 1.5 cup. I think that looks perfect because there was quite a bit of sauce in there. So I'll pop the lid on and I'll turn the heat down to low and let that simmer until the rice is completely absorbed. I will actually try it just to make sure that it's seasoned well. So really just think ahead. Needs a little bit of salt actually. Always taste as you go as well, because you just never know. Obviously the more liquid you add, the more diluted the flavor becomes. So I'll just do that. I'll add a pinch of pepper. Yeah, so just always think ahead, you know, if I'm already creating this dish and I know that I can I just add a little bit more chicken? Can I add a little bit more sauce? Can I make the sauce separate and then freeze a portion of it off? You know, what are some things that I can do while I've got the chopping board, the veggies out, the pots going, you know, I'm grilling, like, you know, whacking a couple of extra pieces of chicken or an extra cup of rice it's not going to make a big deal. If you know that your family or your children or you like a particular dish, then definitely forward think things. I think the biggest thing for me is with dishes like this is that they serve me so well for lunch, because it's one of those things that I don't generally, I have been more mindful now, but in the past I never had a habit of really thinking about my lunch. It was always like, I'll cook dinner, the leftovers generally go to my husband. Obviously the kids are at school, they don't have like hot dishes at this point, but and I'm generally cooking every night, but you know, what about me? Hello, what about me? You know, I don't want to eat, you know, just crackers or just shit, because I feel if I have a good breakfast and then I get hungry, but I get hungry a little bit later, that like 1-2 p.m. mark, but I don't want to eat, and then it's like school pickup chaos and all that jazz. So I definitely need to have something really wholesome and ready to go that will cook me over to dinner, so that I don't overeat at dinner, or I just have a good portion for dinner, but then I'm snacking later. That's a really bad habit. So I thought I would just show you this recipe. It's versatile. I don't know, I'm probably going to put this in the new cookbook, my lemon caper chicken. It's like, the flavor is just sensational, especially if you love like lemon zesty, fresh flavors, but it's so well balanced. It's not something that you're just eating a bowl of lemon zest. And I just really wanted to remind you of how you can repurpose a meal, and even if it only looks like a little bit, and you know, it's like not worth being reheated on its own and eaten on its own, how you can transform it into something else. So anyway, that's it for me. I hope it's inspired you to forward think. I hope it's inspired you of a dish to make for dinner. I hope it's inspired you to think about yourself and lunch, and how you can, look after yourself and nourish yourself and eat really, really well. Anyway, over and out.